Youku is one of the worst platform at promoting its own content. It did remind me of the late 90s, so there's still a lot of juice to be squeezed out of this screen couple. Shangyou, A River Runs Through It, is a 36-episode web drama that's being aired on the platform Youku in China. This drama is led by Wang Ruichang, Hu Yixuan, Chen Bohao, Qi Yandi. It is based on a novel called 眼泪的上游, literally meaning the upstream of tears, written by the author named Ming Qian Yu Hou. You may not have heard about this author's name before, but if I tell you, this is the same author who wrote the book that also got made into the drama Suddenly This Summer, 忽而惊吓. Well, now you know, probably, hey. I loved that drama. I made video about that drama. It's one of my favorite high school setting drama I've watched in recent years. At this point, I've watched the first 8 episodes, so this first impression is based on that. First, let me give you a rating based on my 7-level scale. This is also going to be a 1 gold mine drama, but it's also a high 1 gold mine, above 1.5, something like that. And because this is rather early stage, we still have more than 2/3 of the drama. Do not know what happens later because I haven't read the original novel. But it does look like it's moving towards a rather positive prospect. So let me first tell you about what this story is, and then we're gonna talk about good and bad. This is very similar to Suddenly This Summer in terms of the time that it encapsulates. You will cut into the story in the last year of high school of the main lead pack characters. They will go through the national college entrance examination, which is a nightmare for all high school students in China, and they will go into universities and leading up to their young adulthood. So that time span for the characters is pretty much the same as Suddenly This Summer, but this story is set at the very end of last century, 1997, when the story starts, which would make all the leading characters at this point in real timeline just about 40 years old. Probably will be older than most of the audiences watching my videos. You'll come across our lead female and male character played by Hu Yixuan and Wang Ruichang. You'll also come across the supporting roles who are in various ways connected to them. This is a classic high school, university, young adulthood drama. Now, let's get into the positive and the negative end of things. First, a tiny thing is, this drama has the cutest opening sequence. They make tiny models like those glass globe type of thing, or those handcraft channels on YouTube. You'll see people being able to make a scene capsulated in a whatever, translucent acrylic or whatever. I don't know what's the name for it, but you see a lot of handcraftsmen make that online, and those are the classic scenes within the drama. The characters are there in their set, and it gets made into those models that you can put on your hands, put on the desk. Obviously there's CGI involved. So lovely, so cute. I mean, this type of title really doesn't make the drama any more exciting, and it's not necessary you have to do that. You can just put a couple of screenshots that's pulled out of the drama, make a little bit change, and then add the names, play the music, the classic things you do with dramas. But they went quite far to make those little tiny models small scale. Oh, it's just so cute. And they did put money in that, which wouldn't really change the story quality itself, but it's like, we want to make the best work we can make, therefore we do it. Highly appreciate that. As a person who loves all kinds of handcrafts and like to make things myself, good first impression, very important. Okay, now let's talk about the story itself. This is a very enjoyable, happy, comedy heavy, vibrant, bubbly energy drama. Even its color palette is suggesting that. It is on the warm tone, a little bit orangey, very vibrant color. It gives you that upbeating, that positive, that hopeful energy. And then it's filled with details. First, it comes from the props and the sets, really well built, although it looks 100% like a built set of the alleyway that the students grow up in, main characters. Oh, it's filled with so much detail, and it did remind me of the late 90s, from the costumes and from how people interact with things. There's tiny detail of female lead's mother who is super thrifty to the point that she would turn the tap to the least bit and then start to drip water, but it drips so slowly that the meter doesn't run. So she steals water. Not a good thing to do, okay? But it's a super realistic, thrifty thing that a lot of mothers have done. And when that scene showed up, when she did that, I'm like, oh, this is so based on real life. If a person doesn't have life experience with that, they would not be able to imagine that kind of detail and put it in the drama. Again, gave me great first impression, and it happened in the first episode. And apart from that, there are many other tiny details that's captured about the texture of life. When I clicked open this drama, I literally couldn't stop. I think I watched the first 6 episodes in one go, enjoyed it immensely. The other thing that's good about this drama is it's a very believable drama about the characters. Right now, they've only just finished high school and are about to go into university. So I haven't watched the things that happens later. Cannot speak for that. But for the high school part, there's a quite good level of believability in it. Although I do think they still play a little bit too much, okay? But then considering it is the end of 90s, it's not like now where things are even more crazier. Even if they still get a little bit time to play around taking part in sports, it's still okay. And there's one thing I really like about the portrayal of the last year of high school, which is they really are written and played as high schoolers. By the age of like 18 and 17, you're matured to a point, but then you are not really an adult yet. You know, certain dramas tend to make people really vicious. If you set the drama at the late 90s, which is before internet, which is before social media, and you have very limited source of information coming into students' life. There's that level of naivety still overall on every character. Even though certain characters may have very strong personalities and they're not really the good kids, they want to think out of the box or act quite outrageously. It doesn't go to the level where they act too calculatively and maturely that they don't look like high school students anymore. You can see those kids are lively, bubbly, clever, passionate, but then they are at the same time. There's a level of naivety in their actions. And it did remind me of some of my high school years, although it's not really that close to that year. Then the last thing I want to talk about in the positive department is I really look forward to the future plot development and how the major relationships between the characters are gonna shift. There is sort of unrequited love involved in this, but eventually it's all gonna turn out to be fine. People are gonna end up with who they like. But I really want to see the process of getting there, how that happened, exactly at what point it changed, what are the details in that development. And I do have to say, I enjoyed the male lead and female lead's performance. Female lead Hu Yixuan, she's in the He Xiansheng drama that has just ended. So she literally has 2 dramas running at the same time right now. She also did a really good job in this drama. Really convinced me as a high schooler. Then the person who delivers more surprise to me is Wang Ruichang, the actor who also plays a high schooler. He is the actor who played Crown Prince in the first and second Eternal Love. And in those 2 dramas, he is in period style. And I haven't seen him in other things. I know he's been in other dramas, but I haven't watched those. So this is his first contemporary drama that I've watched. And I really liked it. I didn't expect he'd be able to act in such a relaxed way and sells this very strong personality character very well. I was like, oh, I kind of underestimated what kind of actor you are, and you appear to be actually much better than I imagined. So it actually gave me more hope for the BL drama that he has wrapped with Bi Wenjun, Seizing Dream, I think. That's the direct translation. Previously, because I didn't know him acting in a contemporary drama, I just cannot get a feel of it. Now I've watched him in Shangyou. I'm like, cool. Now I get a picture. I can imagine now what he could appear to be. If you've liked his character and his performance in the first 2 Eternal Love drama, you really should go and watch this one. Because I think he did a much better job in this one. And I cannot wait for the future development between him and the female lead, because their relationship does not really get to its highlight until much later. So there's still a lot of juice to be squeezed out of this screen couple. So these are the things I highly enjoyed about this drama. If we have to say a little bit negative things about this drama, first is we still have 2/3 of the way to go. And for a contemporary drama that is 36 episodes, it seriously needs very meaty, beefy content to support that length. We need to see what happens later. So still too early to guess what will happen with this drama. Second, it's not the drama's fault. It's a Youku project, which means it will not get any promotion. Youku is one of the worst platform at promoting its own content. It is worst at actually gauging what it has on its hand. We've seen that this year already, twice, with Word of Honor and with Rattan. Both dramas are dramas they didn't put any hope in, and both dramas got really successful. And it just shows you they have no idea, okay, about the quality of the product that's... Yeah, so this drama is getting 0 promotion. I see nobody talking about this drama online at all. And honestly, it doesn't have a big star in it. As a school age leading up to young adulthood romantic drama, there are just too many similar things in the market. It's pretty much similar to what my outlook for the drama Crush, which is people who watched it probably will like it quite a lot, but if you haven't discovered it and there's no way of you being like aware of its existence, you'll miss it. Most people will miss it. But still, I'll stick to the end of it. I really am curious to see the rather curvy progress line of the lead couple's relationship between they can hit their final happy destination. That will conclude my first impression on the drama 上游, A River Runs Through It. If you want to see a rather bubbly energy young adulthood romantic drama that does include a lot of school-age stuff, this probably is one of the best choices you can make right now from Chinese Dramaland. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.